So, all right. So anyway, welcome everybody to Plaid. Hey, we changed the name of the group. It's Plaid Group Expert Series for the Professional Life Insurance Agent Discussion Group. Josh Jones and I, we kind of go back a bit of a ways. I don't know, probably about 10 years, I would say, on the
Yep.
insurance forums.
Yep.
If you guys aren't familiar, this group is sponsored by the owner of the insurance forums discussion site. And Josh has been on there for many years, as have I. And Josh, your focus is primarily, if I understand this right, is leads. You do lead generation, but you also have your contact management system. And I think we're going to talk more about the contact management system here today, but definitely talk about all of it, however you want to throw it together. But you've been in the business for quite a while and you definitely know your stuff. Now, would you say that your focus is primarily more the final expense market? What would you say on that?
Any of the kind of the lead generation markets, so final expense, Medicare, mortgage protection, health insurance, life insurance, anybody that gets leads on a regular basis and needs to work those. Yeah.
Absolutely. And you're one of the two people that I usually recommend. Someone asks me, who do you recommend for leads? You're one of those people. The other one
Appreciate
being
that.
Joshua Mackinnon, who's probably a nice, friendly competitor for you.
Yeah.
But
I've known
between the
Josh for
two of you,
years as well. He's a
yeah.
good guy.
And the main thing about leads is knowing who can you trust that will honor their commitments. And these are the two guys I mainly trust on that. Others, not so much. But I don't call out names unless I really need to call out names. So anyway, Josh, I'm going to turn this over to you, my friend. You have this. You've got a planned thing, and type in your questions, comments in either the Zoom chat or the Facebook chat. I'll be going back and forth, and we'll cover all that stuff in the end, and we'll go from here.
All right. Appreciate that, David. Yeah, David's great. And I've known him for years, as he said, and he's always been there to answer more of my high level questions. So yeah, today I want to talk about Agent Autopilot and kind of our front end and back end marketing system that works well for agents. You know, we want to talk about, again, how to increase your profitability, scale your business long term, cut your prospecting time in half. If we can save time, that just means more time that we can spend on revenue generating activities. So quickly, nobody cares really about who you are, but I will talk about myself very quickly. I'm the co-founder of Agent Autopilot. I was an insurance agent. I wrote primarily final expense and Medicare. Regularly wrote, $200,000 a year for about 6 years while I was out in the field. I learned some things in digital marketing. We used that to grow our insurance agency. At one time, we had an agency that was doing about $3.5 million a year. But we learned how just a lot of different types of automation lead gen tools from that, and we have been able to help thousands of agents, with their lead gen and to schedule a bunch of appointments on their calendar. So that's enough about me. I do want to talk about some things just to kind of help you guys. I think that this will be a help to everybody, no matter what insurance niche you're in or what you're doing, whether you ever work with us or not. But there's 3 secrets out there I want to talk about. The first one is the secret of growing your list, your audience. Okay. A lot of times folks will buy leads. They're sitting there in spreadsheets somewhere. Maybe they are, I remember working direct mail leads back in the day, and they'd be printed out in the floorboard of my car when I was driving around to appointments. But you got to find a way to grow that. Back in the day, the most valuable resource was energy, gas, oil, things like that. But nowadays, the most valuable commodity is data. Your audience, your list. Okay. I always talk about Skype. You guys remember Skype? You guys remember using that back in the day? Microsoft back in 2011, they bought Skype for $8.5 billion. Now, why did they buy Skype? Okay. Were there any other VoIP services out there? There were. Okay. Was there anybody doing it better than Skype? Yeah, I really never liked their platform, but they had on average a 330 million daily active users. Okay. That's what they were purchasing. You think about Facebook buying Instagram, buying WhatsApp. Facebook's a technology service. They don't need new technology. Okay. They were buying the list. That's literally what they're buying. Think about Bill Gates. Okay. The reason he's so rich, he's literally given away all the money he's ever made 2 times in his life. And he's still one of the richest guys out there because all of us are sitting here. Most of us are looking at a computer, or that we've got his operating system in our house, and he's got all our data, and he can resell that data, and he can remarket to them. And so you've got to find a way to start building your audience, start building your list so that you can market to them again and again and again. Once somebody buys one thing from you, it's much easier to sell them on that second thing, right? I always love pulling out this statistic, but it says 50% of folks that fill out a form requesting information for a life insurance quote or information on life insurance will buy from somebody in the next 18 months. Okay. But how many of you have called a lead before and they've blown you off? Okay. If you buy 20 leads, are you closing 10 of them? Probably not. Right? But 10 of those people are buyers. You just have to find a way to stay in front of them. Okay. And we'll talk about that a little bit more. But the idea here is you got to learn to grow your audience, grow your list so that you can market to them again and again. The second secret really is that you have to start to learn to control your lead generation. Now, we still sell leads. You say, Josh, I just want to buy leads. I don't want to control my own lead generation. That's fine. You can go to autopilotleads.co.co, Autopilot Leads, and you can see what we have there to offer. But we did an interview with David Duford. Hopefully some of y'all may know him, but he did a video saying, well, I don't recommend buying final expense leads anymore. It was actually an interview he did with us, and it was on the program I'm going to tell you a little bit about. But it's very important. It doesn't matter where you're at in the insurance space. You need to learn to take this in-house. You do not want to be dependent on lead vendors or your upline or your IMO or your agency, because then you're always reliant on them. Okay. If something burns out, you need to have a way to develop your own lead generation, and we'll talk about that. And then the other thing is that you need to stop relying on manual processes. Okay. It's 2022. If you can't figure it, it doesn't matter what I do. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at a system. Okay, this is effective. How can I automate this? Okay. How can I do this so I can spend a bunch of time at the beginning, set it up so that then I don't ever have to do this again, and let AI and automation take care of that. All right. It's very important. So when we're talking about your list building, you need a place to build and store your list. Okay. We got to get away from Google Sheets and, binders of paper. All right. This is where a CRM comes involved. Okay. You need to have a system that's going to reach out to your leads automatically. You're going to need to have, things that sends out emails, texts, voicemail blasts, calendars, landing pages. These are all things that in 2022, this should just be common that every insurance agent has access to. And you're like, well, that's above my head. That's above my pay grade. I get it. But we're going to have to, because all the younger insurance agents, they're going to start weeding you out, because when they can reach out to their prospects and touch them 8, 10, 12 times and they didn't do anything, they didn't spend any time, they are going to start taking over your book of business. And then always the question is, how do I set all this up, Josh? What are you talking about? This is Greek to me, and I get that. All right. So, again, it's important to learn to do all this yourself. Okay. You need to learn how to generate your own leads without a vendor, and you need to learn how to automate your follow-up without having an engineering degree, right? Some people aren't super tech savvy, so you got to learn how to do that on an easy way. So what if I could show you a different way of marketing to your prospects? Okay. Instead of buying expensive leads, what if you could learn how to create your own leads on Facebook for a fraction of the cost of what the lead vendors charge you? Okay. Remember, I'm a lead vendor. Okay. I'm kind of shooting myself in the foot here, but I know in the long run, it will help agents more if they learn to take this in-house and then automatically drop those leads into an automation and AI campaigns designed to do a lot of the work for you, scheduling appointments, weeding out the tire kickers. I mean, look, if you buy 100 leads, let's say you're the best agent out there, and you've got a 20-25% close rate. I mean, that means 75-80% of those leads are junk, but we know they're not. We know that 50% of them will convert. Right. But you don't want to waste time dialing the ones that are going to be tire kickers. Right. Maybe they'll, convert down the road when something hits them, when some, life event happens, their sister passes away, and they're like, man, I got to get this taken care of. Well, they're going to become a lead for somebody else. But if you can learn to stay in front of them automatically, well, that's going to make you a lot of money in the long run. Okay. And obviously this system would, result in more scheduled appointments, lower lead costs, and then cut your prospecting time. If you don't have to spend all this time dialing and reaching out, and you've got automation and AI and VAs doing that for you, you're just going to make a lot more money. All right. So who is this product for? And you're still like, I'm not even sure what this is, but let me tell you who it's for. All right. Insurance agents that are tired of buying expensive, low quality leads. Okay. So if you're in any type of the insurance niches that sell or buy leads to mainly get in front of their prospects, this is for you. If you're a newer agent, you don't have a lot of money to spend on leads, this is for you. Or if you're the type of person that you just want to control your own business, you want to take control, you want to be able to ramp things up. You got Christmas coming up. Hey, I want to have a big month or big 2 months so that I can buy everybody the best Christmas presents. And then I want to take off January. You can do that. You can scale these type of things up and down if you have the right system. So this is some of these screenshots. You may not know what I'm looking at here. This is from Facebook. This is normally when you buy, like if you buy a Facebook lead for us, honestly I don't even know what we charge. I think they're around $23 now. Most vendors are charging 25 to 30. But you can see here these are actual counts of leads coming through for $10, $11, $5. Okay, and this is what we can show you how to do. Here's Donnie. He's getting 5 leads at some of them at $2.27. Here at $9.74. Okay. Nova, which I'll get into, which is our artificial intelligence. He dropped one of his leads dropped in there and they scheduled automatically. I'll talk about that a little bit more because that's really the icing on the cake here. But I'm just giving you some reviews. You can go to if you go Google Agent Autopilot, you can see a bunch of testimonials and reviews that people put out there. You don't know me, I don't know you, so don't take my word for it. Listen to what the others are saying. This is Mike. I love Mike. Mike is an older guy in his 70s. We finally one day he'd been on our calls every week. We have a weekly training call that we do for our Facebook ads, and he's on there. And we just said, "Hey, how's it going?" He's going good. I just did exactly what you guys told me to do, and he got 98 leads at the time for $6.52. Okay, just bam. And I was like, did you do something special? Nope. I just copied and pasted what you guys had in there. I'm like, that's exactly right. That's what you should do. And then we try to make the technology side very easy because we get it. Not everybody's tech savvy. If you're over the age of 50, you're definitely not tech savvy, right? And it's hard to keep up. Okay. And so we wanted to simplify that process that we would build it out for agents. Okay. And so we want to, show you how to quickly and easily launch your own Facebook ads, utilize our virtual assistant team for free. Okay, so that you can take a lot of those mundane activities, just like importing your leads and dropping them in the right campaigns and all that type of stuff. If we can get you out of that process and you don't have to spend any time for that, that's just going to give you more time for revenue generating activities. And then, obviously how to seamlessly integrate automation and spend less money to get more scheduled appointments. All right, so here's what we get folks when they really buy the full marketing package. And you want to look at marketing. There's 2 different sides. You've got your front end marketing. You think of that as your Facebook ads, your top of the funnel. But once they get there, okay, they fill out the form. Now what? Okay. And then you need your back end part of the marketing. And that's where Agent Autopilot gets in. So we have a Facebook ads course, okay? And we've been doing Facebook leads and Facebook ads for a long time. We know how to do it and we keep it up to date. And also we buy everybody else's Facebook ads courses, okay? If you see another Facebook ads course out there, I buy it. I buy every single one of them. And then, that's a great idea. I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to put that in there, okay? So the nice thing is we update it about every 3 months. Facebook changes things all the time. And so we've got everything in there, new, old, all that type of stuff, and we keep it up to date, all right? And you say, Josh, I really don't ever want to set all this stuff up. We've got programs for that as well, where we'll go in there and set it up for you. We also get folks started with a quick start lead package where we drop in 200 of our overflow leads into your system automatically. I'll talk about this more as we go through, and then how to build your tech stack. Now, the tech stack, some of you guys are like, hey, I want to do this myself. How do I do that? Okay, I do want to tell you how to do that yourself, but these are what you get with the Facebook ads course. You're going to get complete video and PDF walkthroughs, and these are not, an hour-long videos. How many of you have ever taken a course and you're like, man, there's 5 hour-long videos. There's that one nugget. I forgot where it's at. Now I got to go watch every single one of those videos. Okay. So we try to keep ours to 3 to 5 minutes. So that way you just bam, bam, bam. Oh, what was it I needed to do? Here it is, and go back to it. We show you how to set up your ads, how to write the copy, the headline, where to get eye-stopping creatives, things like that. We show you how to build out your Facebook business page, your business manager, your ad account, all that fun stuff. How to set up your ads. Well, that's in there twice. Advanced training. We also teach you how to use landing pages, retargeting ads. Retargeting is pretty neat. How many of you have ever gone, to somebody's website and then all of a sudden you see a Facebook ad for the same thing? You see it at the top of Google. They're retargeting you, okay? And you can get leads at a much lower cost when you start retargeting. And then obviously how to build out your tech stack. All right, there's 2 ways to build out your tech stack, okay? And I like the first method, and this is what I did originally, is what I call the duct tape and Zapier method, okay? Now, have you guys ever heard of Zapier? Zapier is an integration software, okay? So when you get your Facebook ad set up and somebody fills out the form, where does it go? Okay, Facebook makes it very hard. Like they don't have a built-in, very good built-in CRM, and you wouldn't know where the lead went. Well, you can take a program like Zapier, and then you can integrate it. So now, when somebody fills out your Facebook form, it will send you a text. It will send them an email. It will add them to your pipeline. It will add them to your CRM. You can do all that type of stuff. Zapier is awesome, and you want to get. They've got different monthly prices, but if you do get Zapier, you want to get the one that gives you, where they will, it'll run the integration or run the automation every 60 seconds. Okay. MIT did a big study, says if you can get a hold of your leads within the first 5 minutes of them filling out the form, the chances of you closing them goes up by 500%. Okay. How many times have you called a lead and they say, I don't remember filling that out? Okay. Has that ever happened to anybody? Look, sometimes they literally do not remember. Okay. They're scrolling through Facebook, YouTube, Google, whatever. They see an ad and they're like, yeah, I need to get that. They fill it out. You call them tomorrow, man, they've clicked on, looked at, talked to a million different things. They don't remember. Okay. And so you need a way to get in front of them quickly. And Zapier is going to do that. Plus connect all of your tech stack together. Okay. You need automation and drip campaigns. I'm talking about emails, text, voicemail drops. You need to go in and set all that type of stuff up, and you can connect this. There's a lot of different CRM and texting tools and email tools out there, but you can connect them all with Zapier. That's almost like, if I'm looking at a new software, first question I'm going to ask is, does this integrate with Zapier? And almost everything does. And so that way you can say, all right, when this Facebook lead form is filled out, I wanted to drop into my CRM. I wanted to go into this email campaign. I wanted to go into that text campaign. And once you set all this stuff up, it's a lot of work at the beginning, but once you set it all up, it's running. Okay. And it's a machine that will continue to, convert your leads into appointments. And then maybe you've got a pipeline management, you've got a dialer. If you're working leads and you're not using a dialer, I would highly recommend that you start doing that. You're just going to be more efficient. You're going to cut down your dial time by about 30-40%. So it's just much more efficient use of your time. And then, everybody needs a calendar link nowadays. You need to have landing pages, forms, surveys, all that type of stuff. Okay. There's a million different softwares out there, but if you get Zapier and then you build it all out, you can connect them all together. And that is the first way to build out your tech stack. The second way is to use Agent Autopilot, all right, where we've gone in and we've built out all of this for you. Okay. And I'm talking about everything. All right. Anything you could think of, we've got built out in there. So let me talk a little bit about that. It's simple. Okay. Because we go in, our VAs go in and set up the account for you. And, you don't even have to upload your leads in there. Okay. We'll do that for you. I'll talk about that more in a second, but it's completely built out from your appointment setting campaigns to your client retention campaigns, everything, your pipeline, your dialer queues, all that fun stuff, your landing pages, your website, your calendar page. You think of it, I promise you it's in there. Okay. Your T65 nurture campaigns. I was just talking with an agent before this. He focuses on Medicare, but he wants to get in final expense, but he still wants to sell Medicare. I was like, well, what the nice thing is, you drop your final expense leads in here, it will automatically, when they're 6 months out from turning 65, it'll start reaching out to them by text and email about them turning 65. Okay. And it just turns your old leads into new leads and appointments in the future. So what our Facebook ads walkthrough includes the whole tech stack, how to generate your leads and how to prospect 24/7. That's the beauty of automation and AI. They don't ever get tired. They don't call in sick. They do all that for you, and using that will, help you spend without you having to spend a bunch of time or money in the process, because we've built it out for you. So to simplify all the technology, we include, so when you purchase our Facebook ads course, we include 2 months of Agent Autopilot for free. So if you go to agentautopilot.com, you say, well, Josh, I've got the lead generation side, I just want Agent Autopilot. You can do that. Okay, you can go there. It's $2.99 a month. But actually, when you purchase the Facebook ads course, not only do we give you 2 months for free, but then it's only $99 a month thereafter. Okay, so you save over 66% on that. But this is your whole tech stack in one place. Okay, you don't have to figure out how to use Zapier. You don't have to figure out how to integrate. You don't have to write out all these long-term drip email campaigns, these appointment setting texts, the voicemail. You don't have to figure out how to integrate Google's Dialogflow, which is their conversational AI. We've done all that for you. Okay, and it's all built in there for you. This is really what you're going to get. It's $1,400 a month worth of tech. Okay, your email marketing, your SMS, your sales funnel, your website builder, your power dialer, surveys, forms, booking appointments, the CRM. Obviously, that's what it is. A lot of time, oh, Agent Autopilot's the CRM. Yeah, I sometimes forget that. People don't know. Yeah, it is a CRM, but that's a small portion of what Agent Autopilot does, and it includes all of this and more in there. And also, just for Facebook, and if you do Google or YouTube ads, we have direct integrations with those companies so that the leads just drop in there. You don't need Zapier. Okay, you don't need that $300 a month Zapier bill to integrate Facebook ads Autopilot. We've got a direct integration. So as soon as that Facebook ad gets filled out, it drops directly into Autopilot automatically. All right. So let's talk about the flow. And look, you can steal this. Okay. You're like, Josh, I ain't paying you anything, but you can build this out yourself. I'm showing you how. All right. So what happens is, as soon as an ad gets filled out, they're going to get an immediate email. All right. And it's going to have your name and your phone number in the signature. Now, we do that for a couple of reasons. One, your phone or your phone company, I don't know who, but somebody's reading your emails. Okay. It's shady as all get out. But how many of you have ever gotten a phone call and it says, maybe David? Or you've definitely seen this one, spam likely or telemarketer. But when you see the maybe David, it's because they've sent you an email in the past and it has their name and their phone number. So when that phone call comes through, it only works about 50% of the time. But when I call, now it says maybe Josh, and they're just much more likely to open or answer that phone call than if it's just some number they don't recognize or saying spam. All right. The other thing that we have to do is the system is going to call you. All right. So the lead drops in, the system calls you. You've got a new Facebook lead. Their name's Josh Jones. Their favorite hobby is fishing. Press 1 to connect. All right. So now you're able to connect with the lead within 30 seconds of them filling out the form. Remember, if you can get a hold of those leads within the first minute, your chance of closing them goes up by 500%. So it behooves you to get a hold of them quickly. The other thing, that email, when the reminder, whenever you get a notification on your phone, you'll get another notification on your phone. Right after that, we have that email notification popping up right before your phone call comes in. All right. So most of the time they're staring at their phone. They just filled out the ad. 99% of Facebook ads get filled out on mobile. So they're on their phone. They filled out the ad. They're usually still looking at your thank you page when you call them. But in case they, went away to something else, they just got another ding. Oh, you've got an email. Hey, I'll be calling you in a second. And then their phone rings and it says maybe Josh half the time. Okay. They're much more likely to open that. All right. This right here, this is why I built all of this. So this process right here would happen. Okay. And so you're going to get a hold of them very quickly. Now, sometimes you're not going to be available. Sometimes they're not going to answer the phone, believe it or not. So that's when it's going to drop into our text, voicemail, email sequences. Okay. And it's going to be, it's written by somebody that's sold insurance. I know what to write in there. It's got it in there, and it's going to start reaching out to them, focusing on whatever market that you were marketing to. And then it's also going to drop them into the dialer campaigns. It's going to put them in the right pipeline stage. All right. So you got a new lead, appointment set, replied, closed, no show, those type of things. And so it's automatically going to put them in the right pipeline. You've got your calendar in there, and sometimes it's sending out the calendar link, your different landing pages that we've pre-built in there, your websites, things like that. All that's connected, all that's automatic. But if for some reason, again, you call them and they don't answer those texts, when they respond back, that is where Nova comes in. Nova is what we've named our artificial intelligence. Okay. And it is sick. All right. When they respond back, Nova's going to jump in, tell them why you're reaching out, and then it's going to check your calendar availability. We integrate with your Google Calendar. It's going to check your calendar availability, offer them a couple time slots. Hey, Mary, this is Josh from Hoosier Senior Services. We got your request for the burial insurance, the state regulated burial insurance programs. My job is just to get you the information you're eligible to receive. We had your last name spelled as Smith. Is that correct? Yes, great. As I said, my job is just to get you the information you're eligible to receive. What you do with that's entirely up to you. I've got a few spots on my calendar and then again, now the AI is checking your calendar. Is 9 a.m. or 1 p.m. work better for you? If they say yes, bam, it just schedules it for 9. If they type in 1 or whatever, if they come up with an objection, we've got responses to that, and then it'll come back and then offer them again the time slots again. And it's doing all of this for you, and it's moving them farther and farther down that funnel. And this is all stuff that you don't have to spend any time doing. Okay. I developed Nova. So we had Agent Autopilot for about a year and a half. And I found a couple of things. Agents didn't respond back to their texts. Okay. I mean, you had tons of activity. Can you believe it, David? The agents wouldn't do that. But they didn't respond back to their texts. And unfortunately, some agents did, but they did not have very good training on what to say. So I just decided to build it all out for them so that it will do it for you. All right. And then you can drop in any type of lead. Okay. So Hunter here, he's talking about he dropped in 70 age leads and it's scheduled 8 appointments. On average, Agent Autopilot, the Nova will schedule about 9% of your leads into appointments. Okay. And so it doesn't matter if it's now the fresh ones, it'll do better. And we're obviously trying to get you on the phone with them first before it drops to Nova. And that does lower the appointment setting because obviously if you get on the phone with them, you don't have to schedule an appointment with them, right? Or you're doing it yourself. So past the automation schedules around 9%. Well, I think I missed something there, but what do you get? Oh, no, the first bonus was Agent Autopilot. So then you're going to get the copy and paste ads. All right. I've heard this many, many times. Emulate before you innovate. Okay. Look, people come to us. I mean, I got great ideas. I'm going to make the best Facebook ad. I'm going to have it, and it's going to be the highest quality. Okay. You can try that, but start with what we've got in there first. Okay. Just emulate what we've got. We know what works. Okay. The guy that was in there is 74 years old and he's getting $6.92 leads. He literally just copied and pasted what we had in the course. Okay. So we've got that in there and we're always updating that, adding to that. Whenever anybody else comes out with a new course, hey, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to add some of their ideas in there so you can copy and paste that. You do get access to a private mastermind Facebook group. One of my core principles in life is quick communication. Okay. And so I say 24 hours, you'll normally see that I'll respond to you in about 2.4 minutes. Okay. Unless you post something there at Saturday night at 9 p.m., it might be till, Monday or something like that. But you can go in there and ask any type of questions. We also have, for just the Facebook ad side, we have a 1-hour weekly coaching call, which is really just a question and answer. Okay. That's where you can share your screen. Hey, what do we do? And our team will walk you through that. Another benefit of that is you're going to get to see what other agents are doing, what's working for them, what's not working for them. Okay. On the Agent Autopilot side, we have 2 calls every week. One is the new agent training, just, getting you plugged in, figuring things out. How do I log in? How do I respond back to text? Things like that. And then Friday, we have more of our, more advanced type of stuff, but all of those are Q&As where if you've got any question, whether it's about the automation software or the Facebook ads, you can get that. Another thing, now this is huge. Now we have integrated Google My Business. Now, you guys know what Google My Business is? It is huge. Okay. If you go right now, don't do it right now because you're listening to me, but if you go and Google, pizza shop near me, pizza near me, all right, you'll see the ads if anybody's running any paid ads first on Google. But then you're always going to see three options, right? Where they'll have, all the information about the business, how many reviews, their phone number, website. It'll even show them on the map. Google anything. Okay. Google insurance agent near me. You don't have to do near me if you're near yourself. Google knows where you're at, but you can just say insurance agent, Medicare agent, health insurance. You do that. Now it's always the paid ad first. They get there first, but then after that are going to be your top 3 people with Google My Business. And all you got to do is get a few reviews. I promise you, whatever niche you're selling, type that into Google right now and you'll see who your competition is. Okay. You might have somebody in there that knows this and they've got 100 views. Okay. Or 100 reviews. They're going to show up first. And then you're going to see the second place person has 2. And then usually there's not a third place person. Okay. That means every single one of you can rank in the top 3 on Google for your niche today. Okay. You can start doing this. You send out a few emails. Hey, client, can you, if you think I've helped you, can you give me a review? You can automate that. So when you close a deal, it automatically sends them a message to give you a Google review. Once you get 4 or 5, you're going to be in the top 3. You may find out there's nobody in your area doing it, and you can then be the top person in there. And so we'll show you how to do that. And that will create your own local presence. Then we have client retention campaigns. This pays for everything really because every time there's a major event, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, Veterans Day, all sorts of holidays, we just send out texts and emails. Hey, client, this is your insurance agent just reaching out to say, happy Memorial Day. Have a great one. Okay. And it'll blow your mind as time goes on. We're like, hey, I need to add some more insurance. My daughter needs some. Can you give her a call? And you will get all sorts of referrals. Again, this is the machine. We've built it. All you got to do is, drop your leads and when they turn into clients, it will do this automatically for you. Again, I talked about this a little bit, but whenever anybody purchases Agent Autopilot, we give you the Quick Start lead package. These are 200 overflow leads. These are leads that are never sold before. They're just over 30 days old. Okay. But we'll give you those. We'll drop them into your system. Again, about, 9-10% of those will schedule on your calendar. Let's say only 5% schedule. That means you're going to get about 10 scheduled appointments. All right. If you got a horrible no-show rate and 40% of those no-show you're still going to be able to give 6 presentations. Most insurance agents are closing 50% or more of their presentations. If you sell 3 policies, how much is that going to pay you? $1,500 to $3,000. We want the Quick Start lead package. I took all these courses and masterminds on software, and they say you got to give people quick wins, okay? Because if they don't get a quick win, they're not going to see it. And so that's why we put this in here, okay? And we pay for these leads, and we just drop them in there so that you can get that quick win. This is one of the example ads down here that you see that they're clicking on. So it's legit. Now you'll still get, I didn't fill anything out. That wasn't me. You got the wrong person. That's fine. You don't have to waste any mental space on this. Agent Autopilot will weed all those people out for you. Okay. They'll have an argument with the AI and you'll never know. Okay. Just let it go and move on. All right. I've called thousands and thousands of leads and it can be mentally draining. Okay. And there's no way to get around the dials unless you pay for an appointment setter. But somebody's got to do it. But if you can let the AI weed through a lot of that stuff, it will help you. You'll also get access to our VA team. We've got a full back-end virtual assistant team. They will, when your account gets set up, they're going to go in and create your emails, your texts, your voicemail drop campaigns for your insurance niche, for the Facebook ad side. Our team will they'll get on a Zoom with you. They will set up your Facebook ad account. They're going to set up your likes campaign. That's kind of getting things warmed up. And then they're going to come in and they're going to put in everything on your ad campaign for you. They're going to import your leads. There's a little button at the top of the CRM. I don't even remember what it says, but I think it's like import your leads or something like that. You click that, you upload your CSV in there. Our team will do it for you. They'll put it in there. They'll put the right tags. They'll put them in the right pipelines, the right campaigns. They do all that for you on the back end so that you do not have to do that. All right. We try to make this as full service as we can. And then a lot of people say, well, this is a lot of money to spend on marketing and all that type of stuff. Do you got, I could just buy leads, Josh, and I can go out and make money. If you do, as David said, we offer leads, so we can always get you that. So if in the first 14 days you're like, yeah, this ain't for me, Josh, whether you just buy an Agent Autopilot or Facebook ads course or done for you, whatever you purchase, if you say this isn't for me, we'll just replace that with the equivalent cost in leads. Okay. And so, what do you have to lose, right? All right. So here's bottom line. If you want a system that will teach you how to generate quality leads and fill your calendar with appointments for less money, then grab our Facebook ads course. Okay. If you say to me, Josh, I've already got the lead side taken care of, I just need that back end automation, that Nova, all that type of the AI appointment setting, just go to agentautopilot.com and you can get that. But if you do get the Facebook ads course, again, you're going to get 2 months free of Agent Autopilot. Normally that's $299 plus a $99 setup fee. That all gets waived. You don't have to pay for that. And then if you keep Agent Autopilot after 2 months, you only pay $99 a month. How do you get to that? That's what everybody hopefully wants to know, right? But you go to agentautopilot.com/ads program. And I'll put this in the Facebook group in the comments as well. But there is that. That's all I got for you guys. I talk fast so that you guys can get back to selling. What questions did we have, if any, Dave?
And so far, really no questions. Yeah, you did talk, man. Usually these things last an hour. Sometimes you go to 2 hours. Man, my back appreciates you because I'm standing up right now, and I'm going to see the chiropractor in a couple hours. So, um,
Well, that means I either answered everybody's question or put everybody to sleep. So either way, hopefully we'll have the recording of this in the group. And if you guys need anything, if you go to agentautopilot.com, there's a place there that you can ask questions. You can send me a friend request on Facebook. Joshua Jones, that's me. I'll be in the comments section below, so you can always find me there too.
absolutely. Now, if appropriate, do you want to take us on a tour of the interface?
Yeah, I can do that. Let me see if I can pull that up.
Angie Garcia or Garza, not Garcia. Angie asks, how are the phone and emails verified?
So that's a good question. So we use Mailgun for our email backend. So if you think of any of the big email campaign companies, you're thinking like Active Campaign, MailChimp, all these big email companies, they're just using Mailgun on the back end. So we just have a direct integration with them. And so that'll verify the emails. And the same thing on the text, we use Twilio and they just verify the numbers. So yeah, that all gets verified before they're dropping into any of those campaigns. And it's all my domain, so I don't want to burn them. So
Yeah.
All right, let me pull up here.
I think I used a similar platform, not your platform, but I used a similar platform.
Yeah. So, and I'll be upfront on that. So, go ahead.
My head was so spinning. I'm like, how do I piece this together? And
So, I
such
mean,
a
automation CRMs are a dime a dozen nowadays. Okay. Anybody and everybody can, put all this stuff together and, do that, but it's how it's built out. Okay. If I got to go in there, a lot of times people will buy a, CRM and automation software like this. Okay. That's great. Now you need to go in there and build out all the campaigns. Let me give you an idea here. Let me go to the campaigns and show you what I'm talking about. Oh, it's still loading. All right. So age final expense, aged health. This is what happens with appointments, client retention campaigns. And you can just see, depending on what niche you're at, we've got all these different types of campaigns. On the back end are the automations. This is the hard part for the non-tech savvy. But basically does things like we have a pipeline for double dialing, if you're familiar with that phrase. So you call somebody, hang up, call them again. All right. And the double dial pipeline will move them from, step 1 to step 2. And then we dial them 2 times again, it'll move them to the next step. And it does all that for you. But it doesn't do all that for you automatically. It does now, but we had to build out all of those automations. We literally have hundreds of different automations, triggers in here, workflows inside of there. I've seen competitors that, oh yeah, we've got the best insurance. And I come in here, this is what I want to see. And I see they have 5 triggers and they have 3 campaigns, and I'm like, look, anybody can build that. You're not, okay. So we've got all that type of stuff. We've got a lot of tools in here, cheat sheets, appointment setting things, So we just plug that in there. You have conversation management. So when the leads come in, anything that's from these clients or prospects, you're going to see the responses, emails, texts. If they call in, it's recorded. So for any of you guys selling Medicare, all your calls are recorded and saved in here, so that you can see that inside of the conversation. Again, if you've got calendars, appointments, you've got all that stuff in there. It's integrated. So maybe you have Calendly or Acuity. You don't need to use that. You don't have to pay them the $9 a month or whatever it is. We've got, let's see here, the opportunity pipeline. We go over a lot of this. It might look a little confusing, but like here was that double dial. So if you sell any type of life insurance, your leads are going to drop in right here. And then when you double dial them, they're going to move over here. Okay, when you dial them again, they move over here, and we've got multiple places to do dialers. You've got your this is kind of like your opportunity pipeline. So when the lead comes in, they drop here. If they fill out any kind of survey or another website, they go back here. If they call back or reply, comes here, and so forth and so on. You can see the different stages to the pipeline, and we've got all of this again pre-built. So when you tag them or you move them or something happens, it's going to happen automatically. If they no show you, drag them over there, and then it's going to drop them into a new campaign. Hey, Mary, missed you when I came out there. Must have got our wires crossed. I'm going to be back out there tomorrow, and it'll just automatically do that stuff for you. We've got a lot of different training. You've got a lot of marketing. Some of this is more high-end stuff that you may not touch, but you've got access to it. You can build your own workflows and campaigns. But the beauty of this, and this is really what we're pitching here, is you don't have to. Okay, I get agents that come in here and they're like, well, I want to build out my own. Okay, you can, but I promise you, I promise you what we have in here is going to work better. Unless you've just been doing digital marketing for a long, long time and subject lines and hooks and all that type of stuff, this is what we've got. It's got you've got a lot of different websites and funnels in there that we pre-build out for you, but you can go in there. If any of you have ever heard of ClickFunnels, it's almost the identical builder in there. This is one of the you can use this, but we have this in there. It's just a Barrel Insurance page. It's like get a quote, okay, and they go here. It's not connected to anything, but if it was, it would go to the next page, which is a little funnel.
A question that was asked is, do you have a campaign for annuities?
I knew I'd probably get that. So no, annuities, IULs, you can build that stuff in there, but that is a little bit different type of, this looks better on mobile. I don't know why the button's way over there. But anyways, the annuities and IUL, it's not a one call close, right? It's not like final expense or Medicare or mortgage protection. Here's a lead, schedule the appointment. You go out there and meet them, give them a call and sell them. Right? Where with an annuity, what you need to do is you got to get a lead, and we can show you how to do that. And then you need to start sending them more information, kind of warming them up. Hey, this is what you need to, hey, you got to start worrying about, the market crashing and this and that, protect your money. And so it's more, you need to have more of a kind of like a double or triple funnel where you're bringing in everybody, then you're dripping on them for a while.
Sequence of some kind that you're bringing them up and you're educating them. And me personally, I like educating them with my voice, so that I'm giving my sense of everything. That's me, but I'm kind of prideful that way. But you're right. It takes a little bit more time, and you want to make sure that they're getting the right information, that they can make the right decisions that make sense for them.
Right.
And so, at least I want to learn from me. So.
Yeah, it's a little bit more. Those are the type of things you would have to build out. But the nice thing is that we're there. Okay, we can help you. We've got 7 days a week chat support. We've got the weekly calls. You can jump on. Hey, I want to write out these 7 emails. How do I get my leads to drop in there? Okay, well, chat support will literally walk you right through it. They'll give you little screenshots. Here you go, bam, bam, bam. And we've trained them to work, on our site or our system. So you've got all that type of stuff. That reputation management I was telling you about. This is how you get your Google My Business connected in here. You can send requests, review requests. You can we have campaigns that automate that out. So as soon as you mark somebody as a new client, they will then get, you can turn it on where it'll automatically send them your Google My Business and get you the request right there. So, again, there's a million CRMs out there. Okay. I'm not trying to, anybody can build this stuff out themselves if they want to. What we're bringing to the table is we build it out for you. And then the integration into Nova. I should show that one time, all that goes on in that process. We have to use Zapier for that one. But, as soon as they respond back to a text, it's crazy. There's a webhook that goes out from Autopilot, goes to Zapier, goes to Dialogflow, checks everything, checking your calendar, and then it's responding back. To them, they don't know that, right? But all that's going on in the background. A lot of people, they talk about, oh, I got AI. No, what they got is a workflow, and if somebody responds yes, it sends them this message, and if it says no, it sends them this message. Okay, that's nice, that's beneficial. Okay, and you can do that in here, but what ours is doing is a lot more, right? It's checking your calendar availability, it's overcoming objections, and it's pushing them down that funnel. It's got, and we're running, every month we're adding new content or context rather. So if they say 9 a.m. or the next time they just said 9 or they said 9 exclamation point, we're coming up with all the variations and permutations of what they reply with, so we know how the system should respond back to them. And so it's doing all that automatically. But yeah, for the most part, I know there's a lot here and you're like, Josh, that's a lot. But the most part, all you got to learn how to do is go to the conversation management, so that you can reply back to any text emails that you need to. And then if you clicked on, just learn how to navigate the contact card. This will show you what tags they have. This will show you, what their current campaigns, their past campaigns, and then where they are in the opportunity pipeline. This would not show this many, but it's just a test contact. But yeah, and then you can see this is the same thing, the communication, the conversations page. You can see that. You can update their address. You can come in here and you say, well, Josh, I want to know everybody's spouse's maiden name. Okay, well, you can create a custom field for spouse's maiden name and plug that in there. Okay, and it'll show up under additional information. You can put yourself in your own activity. That'll show you, like, if they clicked on a Facebook ad, they filled out a form, it'll show you what they've been clicking on, what campaigns they're in. You can schedule yourself a task. You can put notes in here. You can, if they've scheduled an appointment, you would see it here, and you can add new ones straight from there if you were talking to them on the phone. And then that'll drop them into the appointment setting campaigns. That'll add them to your Google Calendar. It does all that automatically. Anything you can think of, almost anything you can think of, we've got built out in there.
Okay, I'm going to throw this one out there because I find that there's two kinds of CRM programs. There's the proactive kind. That's what you're talking about here. Very proactive in the contact and the communication value, all that. Then there's the other kind where you can actually put in files and you can upload things and such, and you're building a client file out of it. Can you upload PDF documents and things like that into this and combine the two? Because I'm really
Yeah.
big compliance, record keeping, and recording every phone conversation you have, especially the higher net worth that you're getting into, and sometimes the more complex conversations you get, the more documentation you need. As long as that's possible in there, then that's a beautiful thing too.
Yep. There you go. This is where, like, the lead card form jumps in, but we have another one. I thought it was at the top. And you can rearrange where these different custom fields are. Oh,
Okay.
here it is. Upload document.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, you can do all that type of stuff. Like, I just uploaded my taxes to this, so let me delete that out of there.
Yeah, 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 that doesn't belong there. But yeah, because now I use a different CRM for, but at the same time, it's primarily meant for client file building and such like that. And so it has its place, and it's very inexpensive, but it's not the same thing as what we're talking about. But it's good that I see that you can add that functionality in there, so you can have one CRM and it does it all for you.
Yep.
Putting your timestamp notes and things like that. That's beautiful.
And for those of you guys that are tech savvy, there's very little that you can't figure out how to do with this system. Okay. It will, because of automations and triggers and all that type of stuff, you can come up with a flow for anything, and this is where chat support can help you. Hey, I want to build out this campaign. So when this happens. And then when that happens, this happens. Easy. Okay. We can set up workflows to do things like that.
Got a question. It says, how long does it store the text, calls, etc.? I would think for as long as you keep the lead in there. But
Yeah, as
that's
long as you don't delete the lead, it'll keep it in there.
all right. Perfect. Excellent. Check the Facebook side here, and I'm not seeing anything new there. So wonderful. So you're giving us a quick tour of behind the scenes on that. And again, Joshua is one of those kinds of people that I believe what he says, he stands behind his word. That's why I like recommending him. So, check it out. I've got the links right now. They're in the chat. I've got them in Facebook. I'm recording this. I will upload this to my YouTube channel. I'll throw those links in there as well. For that now, you had that link for the Facebook course because that's where you've got the special deal going on.
Yeah, I'll
I'm
put that in the chat
seeing-
right now.
yeah, if you throw that in there, I'll make sure that that gets uploaded as well. Is that a special deal for now, or is that an
Yeah,
ongoing?
we're running another promotion. So yeah, you get the 2 months free of Agent Autopilot if you purchase the Facebook ads course, and then the continued monthly fee is cut down by 66%. So it goes from $299 to $99 a month.
Very cool. Very cool. So, any final questions? So give it a quick minute here. And I'm just going to believe that there's no other final questions. So,
Well, if you guys think of any or you're watching this later time, just reach out. I'm like I said, I'm pretty quick to communicate. So yeah, if you like fast answers, I'm your man.
that sounds great. Joshua, thank you for your time. Appreciate you
David, thanks for
showcasing
having
what
me.
you got going on. And we'll make sure that this keeps going out, and we'll go from here. So
All
thank
right.
you so much, and look forward to seeing how this all goes for you. So
All right. Appreciate you guys. Have a good one.
thank you. All right. Bye-bye.